Yo, what is up guys? So today I'm going to be ranking every single knife in Valorant from worst to best. And remember guys, this is just my opinion, so don't get triggered. Also, a quick note, this video is inspired by the Smith Plays and WestJet, so be sure to drop a sub to their channels if you haven't yet. And yeah. Also, one last thing, if you guys do end up enjoying the video and want more videos just like this, be sure to subscribe. Yeah! Alright, so coming in the lowest spot on the Valorant knife list is the Kingdom knife skin. It is by far the most boring, unoriginal skin in the game, and although I think there are skins that I think technically look worse, this one is just so bland and has no extra flair to it, and it just kind of looks like a default knife. To be fair though, it is just a battle pass skins, so you can't be too harsh on it, but it's still freaking horrible. Moving on to the second worst place on this list, we have the Smite knife skin. Now there's not a lot going on here as well, it's just a basic default knife with some painted lightning on it. And to be entirely honest, it just looks freaking goofy. But the only thing that I'd say makes this one better than the last one is at least it has, a little flair to it, a little spice, but it's nothing much. It's still awful. And moving on to the third worst place on this list, we have the Prism knife skin. Again, it's just a skin that doesn't have much to it. It's basically just a bluish purpley default knife. Now moving on to our next skin, we have the Ego knife skin. Once again, not really much going on with the skin. It looks a little clean when you use it, and it's fresh looking, but it just isn't that good of a skin, and I regret buying this skin. Next, we have the Outpost knife skin. Although it's a little more unique than the skins I mentioned previous to this, it's just pretty gross looking, and I don't know who would actually use it. Up next, we have the Lux knife skin. Now, there's a little going on here, and I think it looks a little better than the last ones and has some uniqueness to it. But overall, it's just, again, not that good of a skin compared to the other skins farther on this list. And yeah, it's just kind of meh. Moving on to the Mage Punk skin, it's nothing amazing, but it's not horrible. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Next up, we have the Prism Max. The only thing that's really going on with this skin, and that's kind of cool about it, is its color schemes. And I think it looks kind of cool, but overall, it's just bland and not that good of a skin. Moving on to our next skin, we have the Songsteel sword. It's just a basic looking sword, and there's not much going on with it. It has no cool effects, and out of all the swords in the game, this is probably the worst one. Coming up next, we have the Nebula knife. I think they did a pretty good job executing the quote-unquote space theme, and I think it looks pretty good. Moving on, we have the Hive Mind sword. Now, I think this skin is pretty cool, and it looks very unique, and it is definitely one of the best melees that you can get in any battle pass. Next up, we have the Spline knife skin. Now, this is one that I think looks very cool and has one of the best knife pullouts in the game, but, that's all it really has going for it. Besides that, it doesn't look that cool, but again, really cool pullout. And now we have the K-Tac sword. This is the newest battle pass's level 50 melee, and it honestly looks very good. It doesn't really stand out in any particular way, but if you're someone that only buys the battle pass, this is one of the best melee skins you can get. Moving on, we have the Sovereign sword, and it's just a solid, clean looking skin. Now on this next one, a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, but I have the Celestial melee skin. It's a super unique and dynamic skin, but overall, I just don't think it's that good looking, and it's a bit overhyped. But keep watching guys, because I think we're getting from the kind of meh, goodish part of this ranking, now to the really good skins. With that being said, next up on our list, we have the Singularity knife skin. I think it's just a very good looking skin, and I love the colors it gives off. Moving on, we have the Tethered Realm dual wield melee skin. This skin just overall looks really good when spectating, but for some reason it doesn't feel as good when you play with it. But I think it should get a little praise for being the first actual dual wield melee in the game, and so for that reason I put it on this spot on the list. Next up, we have the Ion melee, and although I never bought it, it's just one of those skins I appreciate that looks really good, and it looks like that thing from Halo, so yeah. From here, we have a very similar skin to the last one, the Oni melee. I just think it looks really cool, and the face on it looks pretty epic. And now we have the GUN gun axe, I guess that's what it's called, and no other explanation needed. Moving on, we have the Candy Cane axe. Although I don't think it's technically the best looking skin, I do think it's a really fun skin to use and a great skin to use during the holidays. Next up, we have the Blast knife skin. Again, I just think it's a really fun skin to use, and it's funny using it, but at the same time, it's really clean looking and really good looking, and I think it's just hilarious to be basically holding a toy knife in such a serious game like this. So now we have the Valorant Go skin, and I know you Jet mains will probably have this number one, but I just couldn't place it any higher on this list. But honestly, I will say it is a very good looking skin, and it feels very good when using it. Now up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Glitch Pop Axe. The Glitch Pop Axe, and let me just say, this is one of those skins that when I see in game, I regret not buying it because it looks amazing. I think it has some of the coolest effects and one of the best pullouts in the game. Now moving on from here, we have the highest ranking axe melee, and it's the Prime Axe. Now you might not personally have this as high on your rankings, but this is my first melee and it holds a special place in my heart, so I just had to put it here. Either way, it's still a really good looking skin. So next up, we have the Origin Melee. On top of this skin looking really cool, it has probably the best inspect a melee has to offer in Valorant. Now moving on, we are down to our top 5 Valorant knives, and the number 5 spot of the best knives Valorant has to offer is the Forsaken Dagger. And honestly, the Forsaken Dagger is just so sharp looking, and this is just another one of those skins that when you see while spectating, you just want to get it so badly. Alright, moving on to our number 4 spot, we have a bit of a throwback for you CSGO players. It's the Prime Karambit. I mean, just look at it. It's beautiful. It's so clean. Now coming into our number 3 spot, we have the Reaver Dagger. I think this is one of those skins that just looks really intimidating, and the sound effects and visual effects are just amazing, and it stands out from almost every other dagger and knife in the game. Next up on our list, we have the number 2 spot given to the Elder Flame Dagger. Now without a doubt, this is just one of the most amazing looking daggers in the game, but on top of that, it's one of the most unique. I think you all saw it coming. Last on the list, we have the Glitch Pop Dagger. I mean, let's be honest, this knife is amazing in every way possible. It looks so clean, the VFX is amazing, it has a great inspect, and even on top of that, it has one of the cleanest knife pullouts in the game. Real quick, I want to give an honorable mention to the new Ruinition Sword Melee, aka the Blade of the Ruined King. Unfortunately, I made this video before the skin came out, but if I had to say where it ranked, it would easily be somewhere in the top 10. Anyways guys, there it is, ranking every knife in Valorant from worst to best. If you guys enjoyed the video and want more videos just like this, be sure to drop a sub, and yeah, peace.